Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an UpDog podcast. I'm Andrea Morissette.
And I am Jack Faley. And today, and we are your hosts. And today, Dre and I have a special edition of the Sweet Spot podcast. This one's going to be a short one, but we feel it's going to be important and exciting for many of you guys. Um, Today, we have an announcement that we would like to share with you.
Yeah,
Dre, what is our
I'm so
announcement?
excited. We're going to be announcing the details of the UpDog Invitational for this year. For those of you that don't know, the Invitational is is this our third year doing it, Jack?
We've had different iterations. This is our second year of calling it the UpDog
Yeah.
Invitational.
But I think we had events similar to that previously. So like 2 years formally under this name, we've had 3 years of events like this. But it's basically an invite-based event where players from all around the country are selected as the best in their games, and they're invited to come compete head-to-head in a smaller group of top-notch competitors. And then we have all sorts of different spins on the games depending on the year. So we're going to go through this time where it's at and what the event's going to look like. And I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite events of the year.
All right, guys. So first of all, where and when is it? It is going to be November 14th and 15th. So it should be a little bit cooler for all of you guys out there struggling with the heat right now. November 14th and 15th, we pushed it back a little bit. And it is going to be at Florida Classic Park,
Whoop, whoop.
which is the site of the first ever UpDiff. That's in Brooksville, Florida. And like I said, it was the site of UpDiff 2016.
Yep. And that's cool because it perfectly ties into the theme that we're going to be having for this event as well. So since we went back to our first ever UpDiff park, which actually, by the way, I wasn't at that first UpDiff because I had just started at Purina and I was working that weekend. I remember that Sarah and I couldn't both take the weekend off for UpDiff, and she was one of our top competitors in several of the games. And so I didn't want her to lose out on playing. And so I missed that UpDiff, and Sarah went to go play. So wasn't even at that one. But because it was our first ever UpDiff, we thought a throwback theme would be a really fun addition for this event. So our the throwback, and then I guess we're gonna have more details as we kind of come up with more fun about that.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got? What are
All
we
right.
playing, Jack?
I was just gonna say, so the featured games in the UpDog Invitational this year are freestyle,
Oh, really? Whoop,
far out,
whoop.
and we are going to feature one more game, but we have not made a decision on that. We've been going back and forth between a couple of them. The team's going to have to probably vote on this one. But we will let you know the third game as soon as possible. Just like last year, however, there will be additional games throughout the event.
Mhm.
So if you're invited to come to the invitational and one of your dogs makes it in for freestyle or makes it in for far out or something like that, but you've got two other dogs, you'll be able to play other dogs there. We will have another field running events, running games, which also means if you're invited and your best travel buddy just missed it and didn't get the invite this year, they can still travel along with you with their pups and they can compete in the other games being played at the event. So we want to make it a fun event for you and your friends. And yeah, so we'll find out about that third game in the
Soon.
future.
Soonish. Do we have I think it's going to be a little while till we have a meeting, so we're going to have to vote, or we're going to have to throw it to our community, like give them the couple options that we're going back and forth. So we'll either throw you guys that question to let you guys vote on which of the games that we're choosing from to do, or we're going to have to make an impromptu meeting because all of us are on the road for the next month. I'm not sure that we're doing any meetings. But speaking about being on the road, really cool thing that we like to make sure exists at our events that I think really impacts the overall community and like relaxation vibe and connection with everybody is that there's going to be lots of RV and camping on site. So if you are one of my van camping peeps out there, or you have your RV, there will be on-site camping. You're going to be able to tent right out of your car to play. So there aren't any like jump through the hoops type parking situations in parking garages or long walks or leaving your dogs anywhere or crating up in some strange place. You'll totally be able to crate out of your vehicle. Lots of camping spots and RV spots. We are going to have an awards banquet that's on site, and there's dog friendly hotels within 5 minutes. So, when we're looking at these locations, that's one of the big factors that we're considering. And so, this is just a perfect option for having our hotel people be close by, our RV campers and our van campers being able to stay on site. And then those people that want to drive in with their cars can totally keep their dogs in their car throughout the day and just work from your car throughout the day. So, personally, that's a huge thing for me when I go to an event. I want to be comfortable. It stresses me out when when my stuff is everywhere.
That was one of the biggest pieces of feedback we had from the invites last year, from
Yeah.
all of our participants last year, was, the venue was cool. It was a stadium on the water, and the water was beautiful. But honestly, when I talked with them, they're like, everything with Jack, they're like, it's beautiful. The grass is awesome. But if you remember from last year,
It
we
was
had to be
so hot.
super careful with the grass. And
Yeah.
then also, like, it was just like Dre said, it was park farther away, haul all of your crap by hand. And
Set
that
up in the
just became,
dugouts, which were air conditioned. They were air conditioned locker areas, but still, you got to
but
haul in your crates and set it up. And your dog
yeah,
is hearing other dogs barking, and they're stressed out
yeah,
about being in a weird scenario. So,
yeah.
that's part of our sport. It is part of our sport, and some dogs do better in that scenario than others. But we like to be as comfortable for the masses as possible. So if we ever have an opportunity to kind of have that camping out of our car van life type scenario, that seems to be the most comfortable for everyone.
Yeah. And just to throw it out there, we did look far and wide for a space. And to be completely honest, a number of them fell through for different reasons. We looked further north. We looked up and down the East Coast. We checked out three different locations. And things just kept falling through either with lodging or
The quality of the field.
the quality of the field, and we were running out of time. This is just honest. We were running out of time, and we kind of had this one in our hip pocket for like, all right, if we don't find anything better, let's pull the trigger on this. We know it's a nice park to be able to hang out in, like Dre said. Park by the field, plug in at night, with your RV. You can have your AC running all day off the RV plugins. Bathrooms on site. A nice huge pavilion for the banquet on site. So I think it's going to be amazing. Anybody who's been to one of the Disc Dog Winter Conferences, this is the
Yeah.
same location as the Disc Dogging Winter Conference, which is, I mean, it's a cool, relaxed vibe. It's like camp. In the evenings, people hang out under the pavilion. It's lighted. You can play games and hang out with your friends and drink and talk and whatever.
I'm so
Uh,
excited.
so,
It's gonna be so much fun.
all right, let's see if we hit everything on our notes here, Dre.
We need to talk about this year. Currently, there's no plan for have it be for having TV coverage. Um, from our perspective, that makes things a lot easier because when anytime we have something broadcast on TV, we have very little choice about where it is or when it is or how it works. Which is how we ended up in this scenario last year, being in a beautiful location that was very inconvenient for everyone. So this year, because we don't have yet television planned. We have set up all the logistics. Someone could still jump on and have it be televised, but at this point, we don't have plans for that. So it will just be a very chill, fun weekend. And if one of our television friends comes on and decides to jump in, then we will let you guys know.
we have
Then
plans
Jack,
for
yeah, go ahead.
We have plans for amazing prizes. We have plans for fun things to do in the evening. And you're going to want to be there. But that brings up the question, how do
How
I
do you
get
qualify?
to an invitational? Because I know how to get to UpDiff. I earn my points, I can get to UpDiff, and then I cross my fingers that I get all the games that I want to get. But this is different. It's the UpDog Invitational. So just by that title, I know I've got to get invited. So how do I get invited, Trey?
Well, in years past, we've used Freestyle Crown and UpDiff as our main source. And the reason for that is because we know that the judging at those events is done by us. So it's a good idea to know that no scores were overly inflated or maybe some of the judges weren't as experienced. So that's our purest form maybe of judging pool to pull from. And this year, because we're running Freestyle Royale, we thought it would be extra cool if one of the incentives for playing Freestyle Royale was that we would be pulling additional invitational invites from Freestyle Royale submissions. Um, so that's one exciting thing that's coming up about the invitational. We are going to be pulling the people that we know from, the top finishers at UpDiff, and I don't know that we've selected any specific criteria for that, like how many or what numbers or whatever. But I know that we have discussed that for Freestyle Royale, we're going to be using that as a pool for being able to find some great teams that maybe haven't popped up on our radar yet.
Yeah, and Dre just mentioned that we're all kind of all over the place this summer. Um, and I know Dre's traveling. She's going to end up at a couple events this summer. Kat and I are traveling. We're going to end up at a lot of events this summer. We're going to be up in Canada. So, all of you Canadians that would like to come down to Florida in
Hey,
November for the Invitational, put on your
nice
best show.
weather.
Put on your best show while we're there. Show us your best freestyle, your longest throws, and who knows what third game we're gonna pick. So Jason, I know, is doing some judging and going to some events, but we're getting out there. The UpDog team's getting out there, and that's how we find these folks that were like, "Hey, did you see this player that did really good in this game?" Or like Dre said, watching the Freestyle Royale, we have conversations and it is about placements, but it's also about more than that. We look to this, the Invitational is an opportunity for us to really find and select the best of the best for these games, but also the folks that are like really charging and, making their way to try to get into that next level, and they've just had such improvement over the last year or so. We're looking for folks like that too. Some cool stories that of people that are really just doing their best out there with their pups.
Yep. Yeah, I remember last year when you were touring around Canada and we were doing Freestyle Crown, we found a couple of new people that weren't on our radar at all. And we were blown away. You came back from Canada and then I finished up judging something and both of us started the conversation at the same time. Like, did you see this player? And I heard about this player. And so for us, it's really exciting. Obviously, Jack and I love freestyle. So seeing new players kind of rise in the sport is really exciting for us. It's new ingenuity, it's new ideas, it's new teamwork. So if you're out there and you're a team that's moving up in the freestyle world and you want to make it to the Invitational, make sure that you're playing Freestyle Royale so we can get in front of the judges and stand out. And if you're one of our teams and maybe you're playing lots of in-person events this summer, keep an eye out for us and maybe post up some videos on social media. If we don't see them, we don't know that you're out there. So we're looking for new, fresh talent. Anybody really coming up in freestyle, and we're looking to give away some additional invites to the invitational of some new teams.
Yeah, and last but not least, don't forget, like I said, if maybe freestyle's not your game, but maybe you just love UpDog or maybe you love watching it. The Freestyle Invitational will be open to other folks to come and watch, and we will have a field with some other games going on. And so we expect that we'll have some spectators as well that will just be
Yeah.
wanting to come and cheer on their friends and be there and play some additional games with their dogs. More information to follow. We just wanted to make sure that we got the dates on your radar, the location on your radar, and put it out there so that you know two games definitely, far out freestyle, a third game to be announced very
Coming.
shortly. And put your questions about this in the comments below so that we can respond. And like I said, we are looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, so we hope that we see you guys either on video in the Freestyle Royale somewhere, on the road when we're traveling around, on an UpDog field. We love watching you guys play and really have fun and grow in the organization that we created for that exact purpose. So we see you on an UpDog field soon. And in the meantime,
Be kind to each other, folks.
and be kind to your animals. We got to switch this week. That was fun.
We'll see you next time
On the sweet
on
spot.
the Sweet Spot.